talk a little bit more, and I'll open this up to any of you about the importance of the school leader in driving this agenda. Because to me as a student of change management and change implementation, it's like if someone, if the top doesn't say, hey, this is important, but also creates a climate of co-design and building a collective interest so that people don't feel like it's oh well that's the principal's initiative. I don't really have anything to do with that. What does good leadership in this space really look like? And how often do you see it, and what keeps us from seeing more of it?
That was that question was so phenomenal because you literally provided some of the answers with it. Some of the features that you described, are some of the first that come to my mind. The ability to, first of all, set the culture, because we will have, some of the feedback in the educator preparation work we've done that comes in from teacher candidates is that when they go in to do their student teaching, they are literally discouraged from engaging with families, and so coming into that culture, how are they supposed to learn how to engage families when the culture is already one that says, listen, we use a platform that's one-way communication only, just those types of things really matter. We know that administrators are also key in professional development and ongoing evaluation for staff. And that sets expectations for how everyone else within the school is carrying on their functions. It's budgetary. When we think about school improvement processes, when we think about having families who are informed, a lot of times when families come knocking at the door and are upset at major policy changes, there was no process to get feedback before decisions were made. When we look at the expectations that we have for school leaders, there's very little of this across the states consistently. Some states do have very consistent and clear expectations. Most don't. And so, administrators are charged primarily with administration, and they're trained with administration. Very few are trained to be able to do this and do this well.
You know, Paul, if I could
Yes, please.
share a little bit more, clarity is so critical, clarity in what your responsibilities are at different levels. I have some resources on how to create a advisory committee and what is the responsibility of a community coordinator. Those things have to be explicit because it's not a natural a leadership practice in the world of education. And so I think you need to have different levels of support, right? Support with the site principal, with the district, right? It's how does the superintendent support their principals to be more collaborative and asking the key questions and making time, carving time to have those important interactions with communities. When you think about leadership and capacity, how do you and
Right,
has
right.
to sustain the capacity? It has to be at all levels of the organization.
Yeah. It's kind of like a coaching model. In other words, where can I go for help? I want to do this, or we put a really great application together. Now it's
It-
time to implement. Who's gonna help, me and my team, achieve results.
If I could just add, because I think
Yeah.
it's really essential that we think of this as seamless, right? And all these different learning environments. And there's a great chart earlier, with that structure. And so one of the worst things that I could say is if I go into a school building and the principal says to me, "Oh yeah, we have a great after school program." They come in at 3 and they don't even know who the actors are, right? Like you want the best programs, the ones where the principals are engaged, they get the teachers engaged, they get the parents engaged. The truth is a third of the after school workforce they are teachers already, just operating in a different capacity. There might be other school employees operating as part of this. So we want this for the sake of the kids and the parents, the more integrated it is, as opposed to in operating in different spheres, the much more successful it's going to be.